Gentlemen, I have read your letter from the 11th in the nature of a petition to revoke my orders removing all the inhabitants from Atlanta. I have read it carefully and gave full credit to your statement of distress that will be occasioned, and yet I shall not revoke my orders, because they were not designed to meet the humanities of the cause, but to prepare for the future struggles in which millions of good people outside of Georgia have a deep interest. We must have peace, not only in Atlanta, but in all America. To secure this, we must stop the war that now desolates our once happy and favored country. To stop war, we must defeat the rebel armies, which are arrayed against the laws and Constitution that all must respect and obey. To defeat those armies, we must prepare the way to reach them in their recesses, provided with the arms and instruments which enable us to accomplish our purpose. Now I know the vindictive nature of our enemy, and we may have many years of military operations from this quarters, and therefore deem it wise and prudent to prepare in time. The use of Atlanta for wartime purposes is inconsistent with its character as a home for families. There will be no manufactures, commerce, or agriculture here for the maintenance of families, and sooner or later you will want to urge the inhabitants to leave. Why not go now? When all the arrangements are completed for this transfer, instead of waiting till the plunging shot of contending armies will renew the scenes of the past month. Of course, I do not apprehend any such things at this moment, but you do not suppose this army will be here until the war is over. I cannot discuss this subject with your family, because I cannot impart to you what we propose to do, but I assert that our military plans make it necessary for the inhabitants to go away, and I can only renew my offer of services to make their exodus in any direction as easy and comfortable as possible. You cannot qualify war in harsher terms than I will. War is cruelty, and you cannot refine it. And those who brought war into this country deserve all the curses and maledictions that people can pour out. I know I had no hand in making this war, and I know I will make more sacrifices today than any of you to secure the peace. But you cannot have peace and a division in our war at the same time. If the United States submits to a division now, it will not stop, but will soon go on until we reap the same fate as Mexico, which is eternal war. The United States does and must assert its authority wherever it once had power, for if it relaxes one bit to pressure, it is gone. And I believe that such is the national feeling. This feeling assumes various shapes, but always comes back to that of union. Once admit the union, once more acknowledge the authority of the national government, and instead of devoting your houses and streets and roads to the dread uses of war, I and this army become at once your protectors and supporters, shielding you from danger. Let it come from what quarter it may. I know that a few individuals cannot resist a torrent of air and passion, such as swept the South into rebellion, but you can point out that we may know those who desire a government and those who insist on war and its desolation. You might as well appeal against the thunderstorm as against these terrible hardships of war. They are inevitable, and the only way the people of America can hope once more to live in peace and quiet at home is to stop this war, which can only be done by admitting that it began in error and is perpetuated in pride. We don't want your people, your horses, your lands, or anything you have. but we do want and will have a just obedience to the laws of the United States that we will have, and if it involves the destruction of your city, we cannot help it. We have previously read public sentiment in your newspapers that live by falsehood and excitement, and the quicker you seek the truth in other quarters, the better. I repeat then that by the original compact of government, the United States had certain rights in Georgia which have never been relinquished and never will be, that the South began the war by seizing forts, arsenals, mints, custom houses, etc., etc., long before Mr. Lincoln was installed, and before the South had one jot or tittle of provocation. I myself have seen in Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi hundreds and thousands of women and children fleeing from your armies and desperadoes, hungry and with bleeding feet. In Memphis, Vicksburg, and Mississippi, we fed thousands and thousands of the families of rebel soldiers left on our hands and whom we could not see starve. Now that war comes to you, you feel very different. You deprecate its horrors, but did not feel them when you sent carloads of soldiers and ammunitions to carry war into Kentucky and Tennessee, to desolate the homes of hundreds and thousands of good people who only asked to live in peace at their old homes and under the government of their inheritance. But these comparisons are idle. I want peace, and believe it can only be reached through one union and this war. And I will always conduct the war with a view for an early end and early success. But my dear sirs, when peace does come, you may call on me for anything. Then I will share with you the last cracker and watch with you to shield your homes and families against danger from every quarter. But now you must go, and take with you the old and feeble. Feed and nurse them, and build for them in more quiet places proper inhabitations to shield them against the weather until the mad passions of men cool down, and allow the union and peace once more to settle over your old homes in Atlanta. Yours in haste, W. T. Sherman, Major General, Commanding.